Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to a new episode of today's Best Stock Picks. It is April 1st, 2021. Thank goodness March is over. Let's hope that that challenging month, for lack of a better way of putting it, is gone. We're going to get to some new price action, get to some volatility, see some market leadership, and finally get out of that back and forth type price action, which has led many traders to doubt their ability. So if that happens to be you, have faith in yourself, have faith in your trading strategy. Hopefully you manage your risk properly throughout the month and did not dig yourself a big hole. We kept talking about that quite a bit. So we're really going to start out today talking, just a little bit of a lesson. If you want to think long term, if you want to see your account grow steadily, whether you're a day trader, a swing trader, a little bit longer term, maybe even an investor, it's super important to only trade when it's obvious. And lately it hasn't been obvious. Most of the better trading situations in the stock market have been day trading. Swing trading has been a little bit challenging to see follow through. And the better opportunities, at least the ones that we've been seeing in the boot camp, have been much more shorter term in nature. We put on a bunch of swing trades in March. Some of them followed through, some of them didn't, almost kind of chicken scratching back and forth for a decent portion of the month. But that's okay. That's a part of trading. That's a long-term view for being in the markets. But before we move on, I have a question for you. Have you ever in your adult life looked in the mirror and said to yourself, wow, I thought I'd be further along by now? I think we all have, right? If you're like me, you wake up every day and you're like, I want to do better. I want to do better. I know I have more inside of me. If that happens to be you, look, I just want to give you a invite, for lack of a better way of putting it. You know where you are right now in your trading. You know whether or not you're on the right path. You know whether or not you are moving in the right direction. You know whether or not deep down in your soul that you feel like today is going to be better than yesterday because you have all the pieces in place. But what if you don't? What if you don't have all the pieces in place? What if one nugget of wisdom, what if one thought during the trading day, what if one coaching call could change everything for you? Our boot camp is 30 days. It's 30 days of trading with me for 140 hours from start to finish. 140 hours between real-time coaching, real-time trading together, coaching calls. You get everything, including my strategy. It's only $295 for 30 days. If you love it, we could talk about continuing together. If you don't love it, no big deal. It's not a subscription. So look in the mirror right now and ask yourself, do you at this moment wonder why you're not further ahead? If the answer comes back without a clear crystal, click down and learn about the boot camp. I'd love to see you on the other side. We have just the most amazing community. So not a hard sales pitch. I just want to ask you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you have all the pieces you need right now? What we're going to talk about right now is we're going to get into the market. The biggest thing that we discussed in the market yesterday is the market was lacking something really big. Sellers. It's interesting. As the market was bouncing back and forth, we had a lot of people saying, is this the top? Is this the top? Is this the top? But we weren't seeing any heavy selling. We weren't seeing anything to the downside where we were seeing these massive, heavy red days. We saw that about a month ago, but the last week or so, we've just been kind of drifting with all this news coming out of Washington and infrastructure plans and all of those kind of things. So where does that leave us right now? Well, the futures, we'll take a look at the futures in a second. The futures are higher again. So sellers are not here again. And we're most likely, the SPY is most likely going to open up at all-time highs, or pretty darn close. But what's super interesting is some of the beat up stocks, specifically we're going to talk about electric vehicle stocks today, and NIO at the top of that list, are starting to wake up. Solar stocks are starting to wake up. Technology stocks actually joined the fray yesterday. Interesting price action. We had March where there wasn't a lot of leadership, ending March, heading into April, where we're starting to see some signs of life in what we might call some of the easier industry groups to recognize. There's so many stocks that when money starts flowing in, when smart money, when deep pockets start going into those stocks, the whole sector lights up. And I'm just going to give you a little trading experience. I stay away from the word tip. Trading experience. when you have the market at the top, right? You do top-down analysis. What is the market doing? Kind of like we do every day. Then you work your way down to sectors, and then within those sectors, there's industry groups. So, for example, electric vehicles within the auto manufacturing, right? Then you go to the market leader. So as you work your way down, you start to notice money flowing into a certain industry group. And that's where its trading becomes easier. And again, these are all the pieces you should have in your trading plan and heading into every single day, and really fully understanding where the easier money is, right? Once order flow is going into that sector, the whole sector will light up green. Those are the opportunities you should be focusing on, because smart money, deep pockets are spending capital and committing that capital. So we're going to take a look at the electric vehicle stocks after we do a quick market review. And then we're going to show you what that looks like as far as all of them at the same time. So the last couple of days, we've been watching electric vehicle stocks for the last 2 days, and we talked about yesterday's solar stocks. So what you need to do, whether you're looking at the same stocks that I am or not, or the ones that we're watching in the community, you should start to develop a feel for which stocks are in play, which stocks you can trade actively for the next 3 months, maybe even 6 months. If they fall out like the energy stocks have done recently, they were strong. We'll take a look from November right up to mid-March, traded them very aggressively, traded them with conviction, but then the money started to flow out of that, and they're starting to flow somewhere else. That's what it takes to be a predictable, successful trader. Not once in a while where you catch a move that just happens to fly. You want to wake up every day expecting to make money. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you want to expect to make money because you know what you're doing. That's what we're going to walk you through every day in these videos. And I really hope that you are a part of our online community here, because I love to see the results. I love to hear about what's going on in your life. More importantly, ask questions. If you are struggling, it's super important that you get specific to what parts of trading you actually need help with. Just typing in a stock and saying question mark or saying I'm struggling, that's not enough. You need to dig deeper. This is Wall Street, unlimited upside, but you got to do some responsibility, which means that you need to know what part of trade. Are you having a problem with finding good ideas? Are you having a problem understanding order flow? Are you having a problem reading the tape? Are you having a problem with finding good entry signals? Are you having a problem with your discipline? Are you having a problem with recognizing overall market conditions? Are you having a problem with profitable trades and managing them properly? Do you have really good trades? You take a small profit and it keeps going. Is that a part of your problem? These are all the kind of things that you really need to drill down on so you can specialize in getting that problem solved and then moving to the next thing that will elevate your trading. So I get all jazzed up talking about this, and sometimes I get too loud when I'm talking about it because I get excited about teaching. So if you have any of these problems, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear about what you think is holding you back from doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling what you're making right now. Or if you're in a hole, how to get out of that hole the quickest. All right, so we're going to head on over to the charts. We're going to take a look. We're going to start out with the futures. You can see here the futures are actually up 11 again. You can see that we're actually resting right near highs, and obviously the SPY as well, kind of just right at that level. We're going to see if we dip our toes above that and continue, or if we dip our toes above that and just kind of go sideways again. All signs are pointing to follow through. That's going to be the big thing. What's exciting now is if we look at the Qs actually broke out of this range. We did this in the game plan yesterday, tightening, and now it popped out. This is very exciting to see if the tech stocks hop on board and start to join the party, for lack of a better way of putting it. So we're going to focus. We're going to take a look at NIO, and the big news in NIO, we'll just pop right over here, is the news on deliverability. This is the big thing. 423% year-over-year increase in deliverability. So you started to see a little bit of buying. You started to see the last couple of days. Now, this is where you put the clues together. Look at, and again, getting into tape reading, right? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of closing above the open at support. Smart money, deep pockets were dipping in there. It wasn't pushing it down past the support level. They stepped in and started to say, okay, now it's interesting. Now we have to pay attention. Bullish gap yesterday. Good news coming out early this morning, and now we're actually getting followed through. I think the last time I looked, it was up 5%. Now it's up 6%. So along those lines, now here's what we need to do. You have to decide, do you want to be early and start building a position, or do you want to wait for some confirmation. So classic trend analysis right now says NIO needs to get above 40. Well, guess what? It's already at 40. Next level past 40 is 46. So obviously we're going to talk about Tesla. We're going to work our way through. You can see Tesla very similar. 2 full days of buying. It's the start, right? We constantly talk about we need to see it on the weekly chart as well. And you can see the weekly chart now has what we call a bullish U-turn. Traded up below, came back. Tesla needs to get above 700, though. It needs to get above 720. I think at this particular moment, I'd be a little bit more inclined to be looking at NIO, especially with the good news. But you want to see, you want to pay attention, you want to notice, is money flowing into that sector? You can clearly see here it is. XPEV as well. You can see similar thing. 4 out of the last 5 days, what we call above the opening price. Now it's close to breakout around 38. And it's actually above that level now pre-market. So you're starting to see the clues here. You're starting to see how we go from market to sector to industry group to leading stocks. Some other ones to consider today, BLNK. Again, you can see money flowing in. A lot of the same stocks, the same thing happening. And LI, also you can see here the trend line that we drew that it needs to get through. Some other stocks, we mentioned tech stocks. We're going to keep paying attention to AMAT today. Really good clean breakout. We've had this on our list for the last week and a half. Hopefully you've been watching that with us. And Texas Instruments as well. One thing I do want to point out yesterday, we did a YouTube short yesterday. We called out Mara. We said, watch the crypto stocks. And in case you're not a day trader, we did this yesterday. We had a $45 alert on it. The stock exploded, almost $5 right through that. And then another buying opportunity in the afternoon. Hopefully you are a regular viewer of the channel and you caught that trade yesterday as well. Chewy is one that had good earnings and good guidance, gapped up and actually closed lower yesterday. So a little bit of selling into the bullish gap. I am watching Chewy for short-term support, short-term order flow to come in. If we trade in certain levels intraday, we're going to start building a position and looking for it to make a run at 100. So again, this is a second day follow through. WBA is another one, punched through, held above the open, good bullish gap. We need to see this stay above 55, which is really right there. eBay is another one that we were looking at yesterday. Good, clean breakout. I'm not looking to trade this yet. I want to be clear. I want to see it get back above 64. So this is another one of those stocks that we say put on your watch list every day. Once it gets up to that level, then start to pay attention. 2 big tech stocks, really big tech stocks. Facebook, we started to point out over here. Again, similar to what we just saw in NIO. Closing above the open, closing above the open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row. Something's going on. And now we had a good strong day again yesterday. So we're looking for follow through in Facebook. We're also looking at Microsoft. It's stuck in a range. We got a good question about this yesterday. When would you look at it? That's the right price right now. Until it gets out of this range, then I'll start trading a little bit more aggressively. But if you didn't see it intraday yesterday, this is what happened intraday. So there's some good, interesting news. And the news is, I just want to find it. It's right here. $21.9 billion contract with the U.S. Army. So a lot going on there as well. So look, there's trading to be had. Shorter term, it's been the easier trades. Swing trades have been a little bit struggling. However, if you did what you're supposed to, if you recognized the market was a little bit tougher, you lowered your position sizing. Maybe you took profits a little bit at 2-to-1 instead of 3-to-1. You have to recognize all these things. We call it all the time. It's similar to driving. You need to understand that when you step on the gas, when you use the brake, and you can't say which one do I use. You use both of them. But that's what trading's about. Again, if you want the unlimited upside, you have to dig a little deeper, have a little fortitude, be able to deal with adversity. Look, let's face it. You find out what you're made of during times of adversity. And you should be looking at tougher market conditions as a blessing to really tighten up your trading plan, as a blessing to find out what do you need to work on. It's a feedback loop. You put trades on, the market gives you feedback. You put trades on, the market gives you feedback. Now, if you keep burning your hand with bigger share size, not paying attention, not recognizing the market's tougher, not reading, not doing the research, not saying, list going into a forum and everybody's saying, my gosh, it's crazy. What's going on? I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall, but you keep doing it. That's on you. All month we were talking about be patient, be patient. Patience pays was the mantra for March. Let's see if April comes. Getting some good signs of life here. If tech can follow through, if solar stocks that we mentioned yesterday can catch a bid, right? Industrials we've been talking about, and now we're looking at the possibility of electric vehicle stock catching a bid too. Let's get in there. Let's trade with conviction. Let's start this month off in a big way. And again, if you're not getting the results you want, click down and learn about the boot camp. At the very least, click down and see what it's all about and see if it's for you. And I hope to see you on the other side. 3-day weekend coming up. Have a great day trading today. Supercharged over the weekend, holiday weekend. And I'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.